Sunday's Bills-Patriots game carries major playoff implications for the Buffalo Bills, making this game a must-win game. Now, throughout the entire season, the Patriots have been riding high. They're on an 11-game win streak. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills have had their fair share of struggles as they sit at 9-4 with a couple of bad losses to teams like the Texans and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, before we preview this game on both sides, let's get into the playoff implications for this game. So as you guys know, the Buffalo Bills have won the AFC East 5 years in a row, and they were looking to make it 6 this year before the Patriots had an insane season out of nowhere. However, there is a path for the Buffalo Bills to win this division still, and it's not as difficult as it may seem. First things first, the Buffalo Bills do need to win out. They need to beat the New England Patriots, the Cleveland Browns, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the New York Jets. Now, these next two games against the Patriots and the Cleveland Browns are away, but the games against the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Jets are at home in Buffalo. Now, the last 4 games for the New England Patriots are at home versus Buffalo Bills, away at the Baltimore Ravens, away at the New York Jets, and at home against Miami Dolphins in Week 18. In order for the Bills to win this division, the Patriots must lose to the Bills this Sunday, which is why this game is a must-win for the Buffalo Bills. They also need to lose 1 of 2 games against the Miami Dolphins or the New York Jets. And that could be a tall task to ask for the Jets or the Dolphins to beat the New England Patriots. However, the Dolphins have been playing pretty good as of late, and that game will be in Miami, so there's always a chance. Now that we have previewed the playoff implications, let's take a look at both these teams' injury reports heading into this game. So as for the Buffalo Bills, you guys see that Dawson Knox was a DNP for a personal reason. So, praise out to him. But then for the limited guys, we have Terrell Bernard with his elbow injury, Bosa with his wrist and hamstring injuries, Spencer Brown with a shoulder injury. However, he did say that he will be playing this upcoming game on Sunday, which you love to see. And we have Josh Palmer with that ankle injury. He was also limited in practice. Now, as for Cole Bishop and Dalton Kincaid with their calf and knee injuries respectively, they both practiced in full yesterday. Now, as for the Patriots side of things, Terrell Jennings, running back, he has a concussion. He was a DNP on Wednesday. Now, Christian Barmore was limited in practice without an injury, so I'm assuming that it was just a veteran rest day, so he should be good to go on Sunday. And Harold Landry, he was limited with a knee injury. I'm assuming because of how big of a game this is, he will be playing. But if he were to be out for the Patriots, that'd be a huge loss for them. And they also had Vidarian Lowe with an abdomen injury who was also limited in practice. And as for the guys that practiced in full, they had Brandon Schooler, Kyrus Tonga, and Jared Wilson. Now, taking a look at the last game, I think the biggest problem for the Buffalo Bills was the fact that we had 3 turnovers and James Cook was held to under 50 yards. And James Cook being under 50 yards sounds very abnormal because he has had a monstrous season. But yes, against the Patriots in Week 5, he did only have 49 yards on the ground. However, I think that narrative will change this Sunday because Milton Williams for the New England Patriots is going to be out with an injury, with a high ankle sprain. So I believe that the Patriots defense has been a lot worse against the run since his injury. Now, because of Milton Williams, the Patriots run defense has regressed. But when you take an even bigger picture, you go back to Week 7, even before he was injured, the Patriots run defense has been not that great as they've allowed an average of 131 rushing yards per game, with only one team being held under 100 yards, and that was the New York Jets, who only had 65 yards in a game 3 weeks ago. So it kind of feels all but certain that James Cook will have a bigger game this week as opposed to what he did in Week 5, and that will be much needed in order for the Buffalo Bills to win this game. Whether you like it or not, Drake May has become a generational franchise quarterback for the New England Patriots. He is going to be a thorn in the Bills' side for quite a while, and keeping him off the field for as long as possible is going to be one of the keys to victory for the Buffalo Bills. Another way to keep him off the field is by not turning the ball over, having long sustained drives, and having James Cook really punch the ball down the throat of that New England Patriots' bad rushing defense. Now, in that Week 5 game, the Patriots did not blitz very often, but when they did, they got pressure on about 50% of those blitzes, and it really held Josh Allen in check. So we're going to need to make sure that we have a bunch of counters for that this week, whether that is just James Cook attacking that defense and running the ball, or attacking the defense where they are blitzing. We need to find counters for those blitzes because they are very effective against us in Week 5. And one stat that really stood out to me is the fact that the Bills offense and the Patriots offense both have better passing offenses than the opposing team's passing defense. So both teams will have that advantage in the passing game. However, as for the Bills have the best running attack in the NFL, whereas the Patriots are near the bottom of the league in stopping the run since Week 7. So I think that is really where the Bills could separate themselves in this game. Now, for the Bills fans screaming at me saying that the Bills have a bad run defense, you would be correct, but the New England Patriots also do not have that great of a rushing offense, and there's really no advantage for either team in that aspect of the game. But now when we look at that passing game, one of the biggest X factors for this Bills defense will be Christian Benford, because throughout the early parts of the season, he was really not that great. He was struggling mightily coming off that big extension that he had in the offseason. However, in these last 2 weeks, he has completely shut down top end receivers like DK Metcalf, like Jamar Chase, like T. Higgins. And because of that, I believe that he'll be able to shut down Stephon Diggs. But this is where the problems come in. So in the last 2 weeks, Christian Benford has been traveling with their top receivers, DK Metcalf and Jamar Chase. However, against the New England Patriots, Stephon Diggs plays primarily in the slot, where Christian Benford has been covering these guys on the outside, and he's not been playing a lot in the slot. So will he actually be traveling with Stephon Diggs? I'm not too confident. I think it could be Teron Johnson on Stephon Diggs all day, which is a problem because Teron Johnson has been struggling mightily. So could Christian Benford, come out of his comfort zone and play in the slot? It's possible, but I honestly don't know if that will happen. And in the situation where Christian Benford is not traveling with Stephon Diggs, I think that this Bills defense needs to be sending a lot of pressure, sending a ton of blitzes, being very, very aggressive. Because worst case, the blitz doesn't come through. The Patriots get a big play, but let's be real, our defense would probably allow a big play to begin with. But if in this case, if you send pressure and you force a bad throw by Drake May, maybe you force a fumble, that is what is going to make a big difference in this game, because both of these passing offenses are both elite. And if you can just play aggressive and hopefully force at least 1 or 2 turnovers from Drake May, I think you have a real shot at winning this game. Now, as for the offense, I think that you continue to lean into the play action game that you were running against the Bengals last week. They had a ton of success with it, specifically Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid both having huge gains. And I think if you continue that against the New England Patriots, especially when they are blitzing, using that play action game will be very, very vital into winning this game and having a good performance on offense like they did last week against the Bengals. So my 3 keys to victory for the Buffalo Bills are to use the play action to our advantage, especially against the blitz, because our Patriots defense will not be able to stop it. You have to be aggressive on defense in order to force turnovers, because that could really change the tail of the game at any point. And the 3rd key to victory, you have to let James Cook, let him take over the rushing game, because we do have a clear advantage in that aspect. If James Cook can have a big game, I think there's no reason why we don't win this game. So Bills fans, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you believe that the Bills will win this game against the New England Patriots? And if we do you believe that there's a chance that we win the division? Obviously, the Patriots have to lose a game to either the Dolphins or the Jets, but I think it's very possible. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.